Shalom, we give all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakakadash. Giving all honor and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who has brought us this truth, the understanding and the teachings from the Holy Spirit, from the Heavenly Father Yahweh, and his only begotten Son, Yahushua, who died on the cross. We give honor and glory and blessings to these names, and through the Holy Spirit, we get this understanding. Wanted to go over this few verses, and you know, it's a rehash of things that was said before, things that was put in a video before, and just wanted to get into it a little bit, rehash. We speaking about Revelation, the 13th chapter, and we'll read Revelation, the 13th chapter. Let's get it right here. We read from the King James version of the Bible. This is Revelation, the 13th chapter, and I'm going to start Salakia. I'm going to start at the 11th verse, and it says, "And I beheld another beast coming out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon." Now, the precept to that in my Bible, or in this Bible that I have, is Revelation 11 and 7. Let's get it real quick. Revelation 11 and 7, it says, "And after 3 days and a half, the Spirit of life from the Heavenly Father Yahweh entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them." And that's the precept for Revelation 13 and 11. It says, "I held another beast with two horns like a lamb." So what is this talking about? "And they spake as a dragon." When you read Revelation 11th chapter and the 7th verse, 11 and 7, it says, and when they shall have finished their testimonies, the beast that ascended out of the bottomless pit." Salakia for earlier. I read Revelation 11 and 11. But Revelation 11 and 7 says, "And when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that ascended out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them, and shall overcome them and kill them." Now, so it's talking about the beast. And this is the title of the lesson about the beast. "Another beast like a lamb, but spake as a dragon." Salakia. So what is that speaking about? What is this lamb? Who is this lamb? What is this lamb? So through the understanding and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai, and through the elders who have taught us these things, the understanding of the revelation, the beast is what you would call Rome all over again. Just like the title that I've given my YouTube channel, Rome all over again. Rome all over again is the beast, is the Roman system. Okay, the Roman system, which is AKA America. It mirrors almost to the exact image that the beast in the ancient Roman Empire, of the Roman Empire, had. The way they dress, the way they architecture, their ways, their laws, draconian measures, all of these things that the past beast had, which was the Roman Empire, America has. And America is that beast all over again. It's Rome all over again. The system, the culture, the look, the dress, everything has to be according to Rome. Everybody had to do or obey like Rome did, you know. In order to not stick out like a sore thumb, you had to mirror image what the beast had made his culture to be. You know, if he proclaimed and uplifted homosexuality, homosexuality was fine in America. If he wanted to say that the woman is going to be over the man, then in America, this is what he did. Destroy the children, destroy the morals, destroy the living God. Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, because in Revelation, let's get that again. Revelation 11, slot. I dropped the whole book on the ground. Lost my page, but it's all right. Good thing we have the scrolls the way they are today. We could pick it back up. Revelation 11 and 8, it says, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city. That great city is Rome. That great city is Rome all over again. That great city is aka America. It says, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. So we got to break this down. The great city is America. Spiritually, it's like Sodom and Gomorrah. So Sodom and Gomorrah of the Genesis, right, was talking about the homosexuality and debauchery that they were doing in Sodom and Gomorrah. That's why Sodom and Gomorrah had to be destroyed, right? So spiritually, America or Rome did the same things. Greece did the same thing. It's really the Edomites, the so-called white man, right, who changed their names throughout centuries, who mirrored their ways of life, their culture, they kingdom into the ways like Sodom and Gomorrah, which is homosexuality and immorality, just all the, how much wicked can you go, right? And it says, Sodom and Gomorrah and Egypt. Egypt. Why Egypt? Because Egypt had the many gods. Egypt had laws that, you know, it was total opposite of what the Creator, Yahweh, had wanted in his world that he created. Egypt had many gods and people worshiped many gods, just like here in America. That's why they call it a melting pot. The melting pot. And it also says where our Lord was crucified. While our Lord was crucified, when they put up Caesar Borgia, a.k.a. Serapis Christus, they put up the image of the white Jesus to cross out what the real image should be, a dark-skinned man with white woolly hair. So when the scripture is talking about the great city, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, it's just them doing it all over again. Now it says the great city, which is aka Babylon the Great, is America. So when we line up the beasts with America and Rome and Egypt, homosexuality and the things that they do, you have to put it all together. It's like a puzzle. It's not that difficult, you know, because the picture is already painted, just like the box of a puzzle. It's already pictured for you. All you have to do is mirror what you see. This is the same way with the scriptures. You mirror what is said in the scripture by way of the Holy Spirit that is given to you and through your teachers, right? What it is. And we've figured it out, because the other beast that Revelation is talking about is called America. Now, it says another beast. What is a beast? The beast is the Roman Empire. Why is it another beast, right? Because when you read Daniel 7, let's read Daniel. This is a prophecy of what Daniel is talking about. Let's read Daniel 7, 7th chapter. Daniel 7 and 23. It says, thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom. Now, when you read up and you read down, you're talking about the great statue of Nebuchadnezzar. You know, the head of gold, the breast of silver, the legs of brass, and the feet. I'm sorry, the torso of brass, right, and the legs of iron, and then the feet mixed iron and clay mixed together. So right here is talking about the fourth kingdom. You had the Babylonian kingdom, right? You had the Greek Empire, or the Medes and the Persians, right? The Medes and the Persians. Then you had the Greeks. Then you had the Romans. So the Romans, right, all over again, is that fourth kingdom. Now it says here, the fourth kingdom, Revelation 7:23, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms. Why? Because in the other kingdoms, the Babylonians, the Persians, the Mede, the Greeks, they had successions of kings. There was always a succeeding line of kings, of rulership, monarchy type. But the fourth beast, which was the Romans, they had successions of what? Caesars or kings, right? And it was different from the previous ones, right? It was just different, and they had also a Senate and a Congress. The plebeians and the plebeians and the patricians, right? I think I'm saying this right. The plebeians and the patricians, where they was like the Senate and the Congress, where they would vote on matters, and you had the hierarchy type Congress people. Then you had the lower type Congress, or the common people, Congress people, like you have in Congress. You had the Senate, and then you had the Congress. It was just different from what it was before. Everything came from before. The kingdoms before came from the king. But these kings in the fourth kingdom was different. It was ran by, you would say, the people, but it wasn't really for the people. It was the welfare of the Roman Empire. The people didn't go cast their vote and vote for somebody. No, it was people put in rulership according to the whims of what was best for the empire. Okay? And this was different than the previous ones. But they played it like it was for the people. They played it like it was like the people had some say so. No, but the rulers said it all. And it says here, and it says, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms and should devour the whole earth. And devour just means, rulership. That's why it became the Roman Empire, or the Greco-Roman Empire. And shall tread it down and break it into pieces. They will break all the nations into pieces. So everyone was subject to the Roman Empire at the particular time, just like the Babylonians had rulership over their particular time, the Persians and the Medes, the Greeks. Then here come the Romans. The Romans was the strongest of all. That's why it had the leg of iron, It had the legs of iron. Iron is the strongest of the metals. Okay? So when you look at it, verse 24 says, and the 10 horns out of this kingdoms are 10 kings, right? That shall arise, and another, here's the key point of why we know is now America, and another shall rise after them. So it's not just 4 beasts, it's a 5th beast, right? This is why we call it all over again. It's understood, and it's it's a spiritual thing to see throughout the whole history of man. After the Roman Empire fell, there wasn't really a kingdom established fully. You had your little pockets. You had your French, you had your Gauls, you had your Germans, you had your English. Everyone had a particular strong point in their rule over their lands, but it wasn't like an empire where everyone controlled all the land. Okay, and it says here, it was another shall rise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings. Now, let's look at that. He shall subdue 3 kings. Now, let's get some key things. Diverse. Diverse just means different. He's going to be different, changed, or altered, right? And it says here, he's going to subdue the 3 kings, right? Which is the French, the Spanish, and the English. He's going to, it came in that order. The Spanish, the French, with Napoleon, it was the Spanish kings. I can't remember all of them. But if you look at that movie Caesar Borgia, or the Borgias, you'll see that, what was that guy name? I can't remember. But we could do the history. We could go into it further. Felix, I think his name was Felix. Then you had Isabel, Queen Isabella. They was over to Portugal and the Spanish. Then you had Napoleon. Napoleon came later. With Queen Antoinette and all during the French Revolution. Then you had the British Empire come after them, right? And the British was the last of the empires of the Europeans. Then out of that, right? Out of that 4th kingdom, or that another beast, came America. Remember, America came from the British Empire, or the British rule. With the succession of kings during, Henry VIII and George, and even King James. That monarchy rule came from them. And this is how you get America. America fought in a supposedly Revolutionary War, and a new kingdom came about, which was diverse from the rest, or came from it, right? Came from it and became another rule. So when you look at this, right, and what it say? 10 horns are 10 kings. When you look at the 10 horns, and we've gone over this before, it's just a rehash. The 10 horns are the 10 common markets of the European Economic Community, established in 1958. So all the way up from the 3 kings, right, that the beast is going to conquer, meaning just devour, whatever was before, it became theirs after succession. But because of America supposedly winning the Revolutionary War, they established in 1958 the 10 horns that the kingdoms, or the 10 kings, had, right? Revelation 12:3. And it said he spake as a dragon. Well, when you speak as a dragon, basically what you're talking about is rulership. Let's get that. Revelation 12:4. It says, and he drew, and his tail drew the 3rd part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. Well, that child, right, of course, is talking about the dragon, talking about Yahushua, who the world ignorantly called Jesus. But what it's talking about, that when he speaks as a dragon, he's going to, that's how Revelation 11 and 8, talking about what it says here. Revelation 11 and 8. It says that they dead bodies shall lie in the street, right? The dead body shall lie in the street. Where is that? 11 and 8. Salah. Revelation 11 and they dead body shall lie in the street of the great city, which is spiritually called Sodom in Egypt, where our Lord was crucified. Well, when our Lord was just totally taken away from people gaining knowledge, especially the Israelites, gaining knowledge of who they are through slavery, this is how he spake as a dragon. He had, as the scriptures say, great swelling words. He had words that and laws and things that he did, just like the first empire, the Roman Empire. He had this way that he would just demolish and devour everything that was spoken against it, whether it be rulership, whether it be knowledge, whether it be understanding, whether it be your nationality. He even took away our nationality where we didn't know who we were because of the breaking up of the home, breaking up of the family. When you take a family, when you divide the family up, the father from the mother and the mother from the children and the father from the children are raised not knowing who they are. This is why they call themselves Black, African American, Moors, Muslims. They don't know who they are because they wasn't raised to understand who they really come from. All they know is that they Black and they from Africa. Well, you was much more than that before this captivity. What destroyed us was this captivity. What destroyed us is our sins that came upon us because of our disobedience to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, where he said in Jeremiah that he was going to discontinue our understanding of who we are. This just totally wipe it away. And this is how the dragon speak, because he compounds the situation upon us, right? By saying, no, you're not Israelites. No, you're not Jews. You're just Gentiles. You're just people trying to or needing to find the Lord. No, we much more than that. We are the greatest people on earth, so-called Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. We are the Hebrew Israelites. And through the understanding of the prophecies, we understand exactly who we are and where we are in this time. Talking about 2021. We know who we are, and we know where we come from, and we know the place we're living. We're living in great Babylon. Babylon the great city that's going to be destroyed. Going back to the 10 common markets, the 10 common markets, when you look at it, are 10 horns. When you look at Revelation 17 and 12 and 13, Revelation the 17th chapter, 12 verse says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, at the time John wrote this, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. This is how you get the beast to start to speak. Now he's given power and rulership. He devoured nations. He has a great military army, just like the first beast. He does this thing all over again. All over again. That's why I name my channel Rome All Over Again, because we know who we are and we know what rulership we're living in. The 10 common markets. When you look at the old 10 common markets, it was the Burgundies, the Herulis, and I'm gonna put this picture up. We'll put this picture up, on the beginning of the video, or I might do it, insert it here. But the 10 common markets, right, is the old Germanic tribes. The Burgundies, the Herulis, the Franks, the Alemanni, the Suruvis or Subis, the Visigoths, the Lombards, the Vandals, the Anglo-Saxons, and the Ostrogoths. Today, They are known as as Belgium, Denmark, France, Italy, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Greece, Spain, Portugal, England, Ireland, and West German or Germany. When you look at this, when you look at these names, these are the 10 common markers, what we would call today what? NATO or the United Nations. The beginnings, right? Established the European Economic Community, established in 1948, had the original 10 horns or the 10 kings, which is 10 rulers. All Europeans, all of the broken up Roman Empire, but they coming back again. Rome all over again, and they speak as a dragon because the draconian measures and all the things that they do throughout the earth, talking about the Europeans, stem from the Roman Empire coming back again. Okay? I want to read this Revelation 12 and 3. Revelation chapter 12 and 3 and 4, verses 3 and 4, it says, "And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon," that's the Roman Empire, "having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head, and his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, to devour her child as soon as it was born." Now, when you read it, of course it meant, back then, when the Lord was around, the Roman Empire, but also it reflects the all over again in these times to devour the children, which is the Israelites. And this is what the three what it says here, the third part of the stars of heaven, that's talking about Judah, Benjamin, and Levi on this side of the earth in these times. What was done in the past is being reincarnated all over again. This is why we know exactly what's what and who's who, because we could see the repetitive recycling of Esau, Edom against Jacob and the Israelites. We see it all over again. So to devour her child, which is the Israelites, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, all over again. Right? What it says here, because we know how is it back there. Matthew 2 and 11, it says, and when they were come into the house, they saw the young child with Mary his mother, and fell down and worshipped him. And when they had opened their treasures, they presented unto him gifts, gold and frankincense and myrrh. And being warned of Yahweh as in a dream, that they should not return to Herod, they departed into their own country, talking about the wise men, another way. And when they were departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph, Yahweh, in a dream, saying, Arise, and take the young child and his mother, and flee into Egypt, and be there until I bring thee word. For Herod will seek the young child to destroy him. And this is like I read in Revelation, where the dragon, right, or the beast, wanted to devour the child. Same with Herod, trying to devour the child. This time, he devoured the child already, but he's coming back, talking about Yahushua, he's coming back to now destroy him. Right? Because he's trying to destroy the children of Yahweh Shem Yahushua again in these times. So this is his payback. This is what he's going to get payback for, because the Roman Empire has to be destroyed again, because it was only wounded with a deadly wound, right? It came up from the bottomless pit and became strong again. He became reincarnated. He became reinvented himself, right, as the devil. And the devil is going to be destroyed once again. because he wasn't destroyed fully last time. He was just broken up. This is why the 10 common markets came together, the 3 kings. They devoured the earth in a little particular time in history, right? Then they gathered more and more strength until he became America, the strongest army, the strongest city, the devourer of the world, all over again. So now is the ultimate death sentence for these Edomites. Why? Because it has to be this way. Payback has to be rendered unto the spiritual Satan's minions, and the spiritual demon Satan must be put down in order for the king to come and take all the crowns. Right? This is what the Lord, he has to proclaim his kingdom here on earth. Right? His kingdom on earth must be set up, and in order for him to set up his kingdom, all the kingdoms have to be destroyed, especially the top kingdom, which is Esau, Edom, so-called aka America, right? All over again. He has to do it all over again. So he already conquered death. Now he's going to conquer his kingdom once again. So I just wanted to bring that out, a rehash, of what we had talked about and spoken about so many times about this beast and who this beast is, because a lot of people, a lot of guys, when they preach about the mark of the beast, let's say that, when they speak about the mark of the beast, first of all, you have to tell us who the beast is. In order for you to tell me what the mark is, you have to explain to me who the beast is. Now that I explained to you who the beast is, which is the Roman Empire, which is aka Esau, Edom, right? Aka America. Now you know who's setting up his mark for you Israelites, for us. He's going to try to devour us once again, right? With this mark of the beast. And the mark of the beast is the RFID chip. So through his vaccinations, he speaks as a dragon. Through his military, he speaks as a dragon. Through his education, through his homosexuality, through his philosophies, all the images that he sets up in his kingdom tries to devour us, tries to gain his power. When you have a Israelite that speaks about building up his kingdom or want his kingdom to become better or be better, all you doing is being devoured by the beast and trying to prolong his sentence. Why would you do that? That don't make sense. Why would you allow your oppressor to continually oppressing you? This is why the Lord has to come back and destroy America, because of Negroes and being devoured. And we're tired of seeing our own people devoured through Esau's vain philosophies, his education, his drugs, his homosexuality, and the list goes on and on. This is why his sins reach up to heaven, because he knows no better other than to do wickedness. And that wickedness must be destroyed off this earth. We give all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who has taught us this truth. We do these lessons for the edification of the house of Dawadah. Until next time, we say peace and shalom. Shalom.